Uh-oh. 49ers on the clock?
We got a trade. The San Francisco 49ers moving up in round 3. They are currently on the clock now with the 23rd selection in round 3. They moved up from 94 to pick 86 with the Philadelphia Eagles of all teams, it looks like. And are now on the clock. I have not even seen who the team in front of them, the Cleveland Browns, have selected yet. Roman Wilson, wide receiver from Michigan, off the board at 64 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Nice selection. I like the Steelers draft so far.
Here we go. Got the Browns pick in right now.
Zach Zinter, guard out of Michigan, going to Zach Zinter at 85. So the 49ers are now on the clock in round 3, Croc. This is it. The end of day 2, it looks like, for the San Francisco 49ers.
And so Zach Zinter. Okay, so in the chat earlier, our guy Damian Dickerson in the chat, he wanted Zach Zinter, guard out of Michigan. Doesn't look like the 49ers are going to get him.
I didn't think Zinter was a great fit for the Niners. Didn't look like more of a wide zone guard, but again, they've done that to me before. Breaking 80 says, if offensive line here at 86, who do you like? McCormick, Puni, Jones, Bordellini, Zinter, Mahogany. So Zinter just went. I do like McCormick, Mason McCormick. I think he's guard, center versatility, future center potentially in the NFL. Bordellini's got that athletic ability. Prefer him more in the 4th than the 3rd. The tape isn't amazing, but man, he's got the all of the athletic skills you're looking for from an NFL center, and has played a ton of positions in college. I think Dominick Puni's tape is maybe the best of the names on this list. But more, we're talking interior guys now. I don't know if there's necessarily the tackle. Amagaji out of Yale went earlier in this round. He would be in the developmental with traits to be a starting offensive tackle in the NFL. He's gone. All right. I looks like I see what the pick is, Croc. I'm going to let you do your thing.
I got the TV sound on.
Pick is in.
What up, though? Once again, shout out to Remus Robinson Middle School. The Philadelphia Eagles have traded the 86th pick to the San Francisco 49ers. And with the 86th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the NFC champion San Francisco 49ers select Dominick Puni.
Puni, okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Dominick Puni, he's got really good tape. He is he didn't test extremely well at all, and I kind of put him to the side for the San Francisco 49ers because of those testing numbers. I don't think he's a tackle in the NFL. I think he's purely a guard, center maybe. He's got big hands. Testing numbers weren't great, but the tape is really good with Dominick Puni, the guard, I think most likely out of the University of Kansas. 6'5", 313 pounds, big 10-inch hands, 10 and 1/8 inch, 33 and 3/8 inch arm length. Ran a 5.35, which isn't great even for a 313 pounder at the combine. 5.35 40-yard dash, 1.85 10-yard split, 30-inch vertical, 8.11 broad jump, 4.40 short shuttle, which is where you're looking for those interior offensive linemen. That's the number, Croc. The short shuttle for the interior offensive lineman. Dominick Puni. Is he a guard? Is he a center? He did play left tackle at Kansas. I think he's purely an interior guy in the NFL, most likely. And I like the tape. I like this pick, Croc, in the 3rd round. I think this is really good value and a really good player for the 49ers, and a player that we didn't do a deep dive on. But I like it. I like this pick. This is my favorite pick as far as draft slot where they got him, Dominick Puni out of Kansas.
Well, awesome. I mean, and that's something, again, the 49er fans have been waiting for that. Like, who's going to be the guy that helps repair the right side of the offensive line? And you went and got the big guy. Interested to see, does he move to guard? And when you watch him on film, just the way he moves, he looks like he definitely can fit there.
A question about the short shuttles from Ahmad. Is that a good short shuttle, Peacock? 4.40 is a really good short shuttle for an offensive lineman. And I'm going to have to go find the data now that we bring it up because it's one of them. I think 40. It's interesting because his 40 time wasn't good. Usually the guys with good 40 times and shuttles at offensive line, they're both pretty good. But his 40 time wasn't great, but his shuttle time was. And I'm going to try to find it if I can really quickly. The shuttle times and the correlation with success in the NFL, especially for those interior offensive linemen. And is this it? Nope, that's not it. I am not finding it quite yet. Here we go. I think I got it. All right. Dominick Puni was one of the players in this draft class that has recorded a 4.47 short shuttle or better at the combine. His was 4.40. Just 28 offensive linemen since 2010. By the way, this is from Josh Norris of Underdog Fantasy. Just 28 offensive linemen recorded a 4.47 short shuttle or better at the NFL combine since 2010. And when you look at the list, it's so telling in how many hits there are on the offensive line of this group. 24 of those 28 were drafted. One of the guys who hit that mark and was not drafted was Jake Brendel of the San Francisco 49ers, current starter at center. He was a scorching 4.27, which I believe is the fastest on this entire list in the short shuttle. He had amazing athletic testing in workout numbers. Jake Brendel did, even as an undrafted free agent. It took him a while to figure it out and get stronger and earn the starting job in the NFL, which he has now with the San Francisco 49ers. But here are the names of guys. This is all 28 of the names, or all 24 of the ones that were drafted, one of the undrafted being Jake Brendel, the 25th. So these are the 24 players, and they've all gone on to start, of the 24, starting 84% of their NFL games. A cheat code, Josh Norris calls it, with a good short shuttle time for an interior offensive lineman, which Dominick Puni has. So of the list, we've got some first rounders. Nate Solder, Anthony Costanzo, Andre Dillard, maybe one of the worst on this list. Only 9 starts in 43 games. Eric Fisher, Zion Johnson, Jake Matthews, Joel Bitonio, Xavier Suafilo, Jake Fisher, Ali Marpet, Jason Spriggs, who was one of my draft crushes, turned out not to be great and one of the few that aren't good on this list. Ezra Cleveland, Abraham Lucas, a steal from the Seahawks just a couple years ago in the draft in the 3rd round. Joe Noteboom, Zach Tom, one of my favorites a couple years ago in the draft, has gone on to be a starter with the Green Bay Packers. John Urschel, Joe Haig, Jason Kelsey. Actually, I take it back. Jason Kelsey has the fastest time. 4.14, by far the fastest short shuttle on this entire list, a 6th round pick back in the day. David Quessenberry, Jeff Baca, Matthew Paradis, Chase Roulier, and Charles Leno, who went on to have a long starting career in the NFL, starting 128 games. I think he just retired this offseason. 4.40 short shuttle, 7th round pick. So it's one of the most telling things that happen at the combine is offensive line. And we talk about the 40 times a lot, where the fastest 40 times for corners and wide receivers, it's almost like all busts and not good players. You look at 40 times and short shuttles for offensive linemen, it's almost all really, really good players. And that's what Dominick Puni has, short area movement skills to be able to operate and move around inside the trees there. So like the pick, not a great 40 time, but the short shuttle might be the most important. Dominick Puni has it. He's got those short area quicks. Good film for Dominick Puni as well. What position he plays in the NFL, not sure. Guessing it's more interior guy for sure.
Biggest winners today is Debo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk.
And and Brock Purdy. He's got a new weapon to play with. It didn't lose any weapons.
I feel like, again, I've been one that's been our offense. Let's start to. I feel like the offense got better, adding a more dynamic player to the slot or just to the offense than what Jawan Jennings is. And that's not a slide at Jawan Jennings. He's been good in his role for what he is, but I feel like you got better though. And when you think of some of these other teams that have, these 3 receivers that you really like, okay, without the 49ers not only have 3 receivers, they got another pass catcher, running back, and a tight end that can hit you for 1,000 yards. I feel more confident about this offense and the ability to stretch the field. One thing that teams could do, we're going to play press man. That's what the Cleveland Browns did. Oh, just play man, and then that's going to be tough. Well, now you got a guy that can separate and win vertically with speed, and you see the 4.41 speed vertically for him and his ability to run routes against guys in space. So you get to do that. Hopefully, we'll see what happens with this, guard or tackle. But I feel a little bit more confident, definitely with the offense, even without the lineman pick. And if the lineman comes around, then you're feeling better. But big winner, Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk.
And not trading Deebo or Ayuk, actually, you could project an offense that might be better than it was last year. If you start trading those guys away, well, now you're not even better, right? And you're probably getting worse, to be honest, in the short term. So I hope they don't trade Deebo. I like the fit of Pearsall with those two guys, at least in the short term.
Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I see 49ers Raj 209. He said, "What's up, Croc? You coach my little cousins, Arjun and Harjun. Let's go. Those are my little homies, man. CrossFit 209, the twins. I had a lot of fun with those guys, over the years. They're probably older now. I think when I stopped training them, I trained them maybe when they were in middle school. So if they're graduating high school now, I would not be surprised. I would feel very old. They might be graduated from high school now. So shout out to Arjun and Harjun. Tell them Coach Croc said what's up.
Future NFL stars, no doubt, in Arjun and Harjun if they've been coached up by Coach Crocky. Croc time.
Smart kids. Very, very smart. Smart kids, man.
Real quick, the scouting report summary on Dominick Puni, the offensive tackle out of Kansas. A 2-year starter at Kansas. Puni started at left tackle. And after 4 years at Central Missouri, he made the unlikely jump. By the way, that means another older prospect, right? Let's see what the age is. He's actually older than all. He's already 24. So he was born he turned 24 in February, Dominick Puni. So 3 for 3 older. This is a 6th-year senior after a couple of 5th-year seniors that the 49ers drafted here in the first 2 rounds of the 2024 NFL draft. He made Central Missouri University. He made the unlikely jump to Division II, from Division II to FBS, and played at a high level at both tackle and guard in Loris, Kansas. 25 straight starts, 0 sacks allowed. Puni runs his feet and steers defenders in the run game with a mauling yet measured mentality. Ooh, I like that. He mauls, but in a measured way, to make split-second adjustments on the move. Though he has some limitations in space as a blocker, he plays stout and mobile to answer different types of rushers. Overall, Puni will get himself in trouble bending at the waist or letting its pads rise, but he plays big, powerful, and sends a harsh message with his hands while staying controlled through contact. He can play tackle if needed, but projects best as an NFL starting guard or center. There we go. Your latest San Francisco 49. All right. Appreciate everybody out there jumping into the stream the last 2 days, hanging out with us for hours and hours of the first and second days of the 2024 NFL draft. Make sure you're subscribed up to Crocker's stream, to Peacock's stream, and make sure you're also subscribed to Locked On 49ers on YouTube and everywhere you get your podcast, where you can hear Croc and I daily breaking down the San Francisco 49ers. Croc, any parting words about this draft or for the folks out here that hung out with us the last couple of days?
I think, potentially getting an offensive lineman that can come in and have a role or start. That's not going to be easy. I think, John Feliciano, he's going to make it tough, but I think that makes you like a little bit more. Can the corner Green come in and compete? Can he beat out some of the veterans and say, all right, Diamond Lenore, you play in this slot, I'm going to hold it down on this outside? That would make it better. Does Slick Rick come in right away and start at receiver and Kyle Shanahan not put him in the doghouse? That would make you feel a lot better about this. So 3 guys that it looks like they're going to compete for spots. And I think that's all you can ask for a team that's pretty loaded and Super Bowl ready.